What is going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to DSM Media, guys. I am one half of, I don't even know what show you want to call this, George. It's not Turf Talk. It's not the Faithful Fanatics. We're just here to talk about Trea Turner being a Philadelphia Philly, 11 years, $300 million deal. And we are joined today by no other than a friend of DSM, Connor Thomas. You can find him on Twitter at Connor Thomas 975. He is the host of a Phillies podcast on Lock on Phillies. What's going on, brother?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Too excited.
Man, it's been a fun couple of days.
Feeling? Yeah, it's been a great day today. Trea Turner, still a Philadelphia Philly when I woke up. So,
finally.
It's a good time.
Thank God Paul Heyman didn't or John Heyman, excuse me. Paul Aaron Judge to San Fran like a Philly. With
that
Trea
dude
Turner.
is ridiculous, man.
Did you see that?
He does this like once a month. It's crazy. You gotta stop listening to him.
Biggest story in baseball right now, and he just jumps the gun.
Yeah. It's like, nah, just wrong.
Yeah, he's like, my bad. Jump the gun.
Right.
See me in 2 hours. We'll see if anything's changed. But listen, man, we're here to talk about Trea Turner, what it means, the contract, all that good stuff, what to do with the lineup when Bryce is back. But let's start with the player himself. Take me through your mindset. Take me kind of how happy you are, not only to talk about this team and cover this team, but as a Phillies fan to have this guy. Obviously, there were 4 marquee names available at the position. We knew the Phillies were going to be players for one of them. But to sign, in most people's eyes, the number one option on the first day of winter meetings, take me where your head's at, how excited you are that they got this deal done so early.
Yeah, honestly, and this is probably because it's December 6th right now when we're having this conversation, but I'm more excited about what Trea Turner coming here represents than what he's actually going to do on the field. And that's, this guy just left $42 million on the table to come to Philly, signed here before the market was set. He signed before Aaron Judge, before the other big shortstops, just straight up wanted to be here, took less money to be here. And what that represents is Philadelphia is a destination for superstars now. The Philadelphia Phillies, they're a place that players want to come. And that's how you end up getting guys, the rest of free agency that are supposed to be one-year deal, veteran guys that come here cheaper, more expensive guys that might take a huge pay cut to be here and be a part of something special. And it also is how you compete for a long time when you build that culture. So that's all huge. And adding a shortstop that's going to bat over 302 for his career, and the best shortstop in baseball, if you believe the first team All-MLB accolade he was given last night. I mean, what more can you say about the guy?
It's ridiculous. It's just everything is great right now. And obviously the contract's 11 years long. He'll be 40 by the time it's up. We've seen it before with Bryce and now with Trea. Ownership's giving players more stability with the years. They're allowing the AAV to stay below the market value to build around year to year. What are your thoughts of the contract? Obviously, it's 11 years high. He's going to be 40, but the back end, it's just kind of given that you pay for the value now, and then on the back end, you give it up. It's fine.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? Because when I look at the 11 years, that's the one part of the contract. I'm not worried about it now because screw 2034, whatever it is, when it's going to be the last year of his contract. I'm not worried about that. Who knows where any of us are going to be at that point and what the Phillies have done between now and then. But let's say Swanson comes out and gets a deal for 5, and Correa comes out and gets a deal for 6, and Bogarts comes out and gets a deal for 5. Then you might be looking at it like, well, what were the Phillies doing going 11 years for Trea Turner? So we need a couple other things to play out in the market and see how these contracts go, see what Aaron Judge is maybe going to get. Because this could be a situation where 11 years seems crazy. And then you see a bunch of these like top tier guys this year because the market is increasing so much year over year that they get long-term contracts with other teams. And you're like, okay, well, this is just kind of the norm in baseball right now. So I totally don't have any debate against people saying paying a 40-year-old this much money might seem crazy in 2034, but let's see how the rest of the market shakes out before we make a decision one way or another on the length of the contract.
Yeah, that's like 2032's problem. 22. I'm 24 years old. Like I can be grumpy when I'm 34. That's fine.
Right.
Like, I'll look back, watch this 10 years from now and be like, okay, I could complain about it then. But like Phil's saying, if they win a World Series or 2 within that time, I'm not going to care. I know I'll still complain 10 years from now, as we all will, but we'll see how that shapes out. Listen, man, I got to figure out a way to tinker my third question for you, because you brought up a very interesting point in your first response, and that is by the marquee free agents, the stars wanting to choose and come to Philadelphia. Like you mentioned, we all know about the San Diego offer by now, essentially him choosing Philly. In hindsight, I said this to George before the show. In hindsight, I can say it now confidently, but I know we were all nervous about which one they were going to get. Would they get any? Would they get him as number one option? But it just makes too much sense when you talk about the wife's relationship in Jersey, the Florida with the spring training, the relationship to Kevin Long, to Bryce. I don't know how shocked we really should be about it, but what does it tell you that we've now seen the Phillies get their guy for about 5 years of off seasons now? You had Bryce, Wheeler, re-signed JT, Schwarber, and Castellanos to get both last year. Now they go out, they identify their guys, Trey, they get Trey. I know you spoke on it a little bit, but what does it tell you maybe about the direction of the organization and what they're trying to do?
Yeah, first off, you guys were worried? You guys weren't sure who they were going to get?
That's what you weren't?
No, absolutely not. It's funny. It was about 5 or 6 days ago at this point. I went out. I met my dad out. He was having dinner with some of his friends. So it was him and his girlfriend out with a couple other couples. And I was doing an event at the bar for the station for 97.5 The Fanatic. I went over and was talking to him. And one of the guys asked me, he's like, what do you think? Are they going to get Turner? Are they going to sign somebody? And I said, they're absolutely getting Trea Turner. There's 0% doubt in my mind. And I felt that way for, I don't know, 3 weeks now, a month at this point.
Too much sense.
It fits. And when the important thing, and this leads into the second part of your question, the important thing that was different for Trea Turner than it was for Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, and it turned once they got here. Like, we learned more, but we've known that Trea Turner wanted to come to Philadelphia. There was mutual interest. Harper, we weren't sure. Now we know post the fact that there obviously was. Schwarber and Castellanos, we know after the fact they obviously want to be here, but there was no report like a couple weeks before they signed saying, hey, these guys want to be in Philadelphia. So that was the point for me where I was like, okay, he's absolutely going to be here. They're going to work something out. And what it says about the Phillies organization is this is a place that is ready to win now. The players around baseball that play against them and for them, the guys in the building, believe they're ready to be a competitive World Series caliber team for multiple years. And people are buying in. You've got I was going to say GM. You do in Sam Fold, because I'll give him this credit too. But President of Baseball Ops, Dave Dombrowski, that's ready to win. You have an owner in John Middleton who's finally shown out for the luxury tax and ready to go. And they're not even in the luxury tax yet. We'll see how that all plays out.
Got about what, 40, 43?
30,
maybe a little less?
34
million. Right now, less money committed to your shortstop and second baseman with Trea Turner and Bryson Stott than you had with Gene Segura and Bryson Stott last year.
Yeah, crazy, ridiculous. It's insane.
It's nuts. But so all of that to say, Philadelphia is now a destination, and players are realizing it, and that goes into the hard work of a lot of people around the organization.
Real quick, George, I want to bring up this point. Remember when people were questioning whether Bryce was worth the 330? So forget the fact that he's already got an MVP in a Phillies uniform. Forget the fact that they just made the World Series and he had one of the craziest, most productive postseasons of all time. If nothing else, the attraction he is here is worth the 330. Like, Trea Turner probably isn't a Philadelphia Philly. Most likely isn't a Philadelphia Philly if Bryce Harper is not here. Kyle Schwarber probably isn't a Philadelphia Philly if Bryce Harper is not here. So you mentioned hard work. Just having that dude, JT, it's insane how much of an attraction he is around the league.
Yeah, I mean, Castellanos might not be here. Zach Wheeler, who knows what decision he makes? Who knows how good Bryson Stott is without spending time with him and being his roommate and everything. He is the motor behind this. It's absolutely awesome. You know what? I had a funny thought today. I don't know if this is real, but I'm choosing to live in this world right now because this would be hilarious. Who is the team that Trea Turner turned down the money from? San Diego Padres, right? I'm just imagining Trea Turner sitting at home, feet up on his couch, watching the NLCS and saying, man, these two teams are competitive and they're both going to come after me. Let's see who wins and goes to the World Series, and that's the one I'm going to choose. Yeah. Could you imagine if that Bryce Harper home run to send them to the World Series also convinced Trea Turner to come here? Now, we'll never know that, but like that would be
could
crazy.
Also be it could also be the rap or song that the San Diego Padres fan base decided to put out there.
That was great.
That's what's in, bro. Tre's a Philly.
That's what's in.
It's true. That is what's in.
Yeah, Cody Bellinger is also a Cub, by the way. 1 year deal. Yeah. You look at this lineup, and I've seen so many different scenarios from so many different people. I've seen Trey at the leadoff spot.
This gonna be fun.
There. Yeah, it's just I'm curious to see your input on post Bryce and pre Bryce. What the lineup is going to be. Your thoughts on it. How you would go about it.
Yeah, so I actually worked on this today for Locked On Phillies. I wrote an article for 97.5 The Fanatic. I've been big into the lineup talk today because everyone's been on it.
December 6th, baby.
Yes, December 6th, we're doing opening day lineups, or not opening day if Bryce is included. But I'm batting Trea Turner leadoff. Okay. Absolutely, no doubt he's penciled in there. This is the most clean, clear-cut leadoff hitter you've had since Jimmy Rollins. I think you're selling yourself short if you don't bat him leadoff. I don't care how productive Schwarber was in the leadoff spot last year. Turner is just he's a bona fide major league leadoff hitter and one of the really good ones in the game. I'm going Hoskins 2. If Harper's available, he's batting 3. If Harper's not available, Schwarber's batting 3. Cleanup is going to be JT regardless. 5 is going to be, and it depends. I have 5. Schwarber batting 5th if Harper's available because he's in the 3 hole. If Harper is not available, I have Derek Hall DHing and batting 5th. 6th, I'm going Castellanos. 7th, Bohm. 8th, Stott. 9th, Marsh. I know I just listed a lot of names. All good. Did I explain that?
No, I got you. The Derek Hall threw me off at first because I was like, whoa, wait a second.
Who else do you see? That's the thing.
This is a post Price.
If Schwarber's playing left and Castellanos is playing right, who else do you have DHing? I'm not DHing Matt Vierling. I love the guy. I'm sorry, but not doing it.
Nah.
You guys cool with that lineup? What do you think?
I also agree that Trey is a clear-cut leadoff hitter, 100%. Not even thinking about that twice. I think
Dylan wants Schwarber to bat leadoff.
Yeah, that's the thing, Dylan.
I'm not moving the 46 bombs out of the leadoff spot, bro.
Buddy, why not? See, I understand. And I'm coming to you absolutely truthful. Yeah. I was 100% a Kyle Schwarber should bat leadoff guy this past year. Anyone who was move him, he walked a bunch. Yeah. He hit all those bombs. I loved him in the leadoff spot. So this isn't like I was one of those guys who just wanted to move him because he strikes out a bunch. I just think you get that production from him elsewhere.
Here's my pushback. I agree with you guys, and I will not be upset or mad with Rob Thompson and question him if Trey is the leadoff hitter. I understand why he should and can be the leadoff hitter of this ball club. I just think the difference from him batting 1 and 2, obviously those are the only 2 spots we're looking at. Whereas you mentioned the tinkering of if Schwarber's not 1, you're pushing him 3, 4, 5 spots down the lineup.
Yeah, and look who the guys who are batting in those spots in between that, though. Harper,
I get it.
Romuto.
But now you're projecting Rhys Hoskins potentially to have 50, 60 more at-bats than a Kyle Schwarber.
I'm fine with that. That might sound crazy now, but this lineup's just good enough.
I can agree with that, but that's the only reason I say keep him there, not only for the walks and for the bombs and for want him to see more at-bats and pitches. The disconnect from 1 to, let's say, 5 compared to Trey 1, 2, I think it changes the outlook of the entire lineup so much more.
Yeah, but
1.
You can't hit Schwarber 2 or 4.
No, I know that.
Because then you've got lefty relievers are able to face Harper and Schwarber. And here's why you can't bat him leadoff, right? Especially with Turner batting second. Trea Turner's stolen 69 bases over the last 2 years. It's the most by any shortstop in baseball. You're going to have Kyle Schwarber walk, and then Trea Turner gets on. And then what are you going to – you're taking away – you're road blocking the bases with Schwarber in front of him. I can't take away his speed.
Yeah.
The bigger bases. Yeah. So let me – if you had to put an over-under, the only 2 throwovers to the bag, right? If you had to put an over-under on Tre's stolen bags this year, where are you headed?
What did he have last year? Because I only saw over the last couple years.
I know he had – the last 3 years he had 33, 31, and then he had 20-something.
So I don't think he's going to run as much here because of the power that he's going to have hitting behind him, especially if they do something like, I wouldn't do it, but Schwarber batting second while Harper's out or something like that. So I think there's enough pop on. Not that he didn't have that in LA, but I just think this team is in this ballpark. Right. You're going to leave the yard.
You're
not
a lot
risking
more. Him. Yeah, I get you.
Right. I'm going to give it. I'll put him at 29.5 for the over.
Taking the over. Like, I know you're not risking it, but dude, the thought of limiting the pitcher's ability to check him and keep an eye on him, like,
true,
you could check him early. Now I gotta go home.
I
right?
still don't know how much that's going to affect the steals, though. I've got to see that in practice because it's still such a weird rule to me. There are people much smarter than me. See, they can even form sentences. There are people much smarter than me in baseball who are going to understand how to strategize that to keep players from just stealing bases at will. So until I see that implicated, I don't really know how much it's affecting the running game. So we'll see. But yeah, you're right. That could be significantly higher in steal total for Trea Turner.
I know we're just like gushing it. This dude hasn't hit under 298 since 2018.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He's going to roll out in his jammies and hit for 302 this year at Citizens Bank Park. No shift. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. But George, anything else about the Trea Turner signing you got for Connor?
No, man. I mean, we hit on all points, and it's we all know what this.
It's hard, man. Like Connor's pumping out articles. He's doing podcasts.
Yeah,
it's December 6th, man. I got an 11-1 football team. I got Doc Rivers to get fired right now, but it's the one thing I think about.
Yeah, just like you said too. It's like it's just a stepping stone. Like players want to come here, and all because of Bryce's presence is pretty much
perfect. Wrap it up with this: Trea Turner's already signed, Philadelphia Phillies shortstop. We know kind of how the lineup's going to play out. We know where they need help. What is your prediction for? Obviously, we know where the Phillies need to go next, where the money's going to be spent, but maybe who is Carlos Rodon a possibility? Are they looking more for a star type pitcher, or are they looking more for a legit innings eater, number 4 type of starter?
Rodon isn't happening, guys. I hate to say it. It's absolutely.
I mean, I don't know, man. His wife keeps liking all Phillies tweets.
She can like whatever she wants. That's just it's not going to happen. It's too much money committed to a starter when you already have 2 top tier guys, and you really believe in this lineup. Remember, Dave Dombrowski said, and thought it was crazy at the time because Trea Turner was in play, but you actually got Turner at a premium based on where we thought the shortstop market was going to be, at least by the annual value, about 27 and change. But Dave Dombrowski said he would like to be under the luxury tax. Now, we don't know if they will, and they were over last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if they clear it again. But that, to me, says no big top-end starter. Sure. They came out and said they're probably not getting any other guys that have qualified offers tendered to them by their current teams already. So you're looking at a middle-of-the-road guy, which isn't a bad thing. But like a Jameson Tyone has been a guy that I've been hearing a lot of. There's some other – Noah Syndergaard maybe coming back. There's a couple guys that are interesting out there in the middle of the range, but it's not going to be a top tier starter. And then you're going to look at a couple guys in the bullpen that can just round stuff out. But frankly, being under the luxury tax this year might be a good thing because you have so many talented guys already. You don't have that many spots to fill. If you can bring up Andrew Painter and bring him along comfortably, if you could start Bailey Falter or bring in a veteran to take that 4 spot and have your rotation be Wheeler, Nola, whatever order you want them, Suarez, Falter, or a veteran coming back or coming in, and then Andrew Painter to round it out, or however you want to do that. You only need to add 1 starter. You need to add, like 2 or 3 guys in the bullpen you feel comfortable with to add to Alvarado and Dominguez and Brogdon and Bilotti and these guys you all trust already. Like, there's not that many holes. So if you can stay under the luxury tax this year, save some for next year. And then if you want to attack a guy that puts you really over the top, if they don't win it all this year, that might be the most prudent approach as well. So I'm not looking at anything big the rest of the way, but we'll see. We'll see who's available.
All right. Last thing for you expectation wise. Last year they signed Schwarber, they signed Castellanos. We knew what the lineup could be. We had all the hope in the world that they would make the playoffs. They do that. They exceed expectations. They make the World Series. They go out, they sign Trea Turner first day of winter meetings. Where are your expectations at for this Phillies team come opening day when Bryce comes back? Are you all in division title? Try to get back. We know how difficult it is, but get back to that window, or are you tempering your expectations a bit?
I don't care about the division because the division doesn't matter. It's too competitive. Like, I want them to win it. I think they're the best team in the NL East currently constructed, but of course it's December 6th. So good. Yeah, but if let's say they get in a situation like this past year where another team wins 100 games and they win 100 games. I don't care whether or not they win the division. It's more postseason success for me. I think they're a 94 to 95 win team right now. And that's before I know who your fourth and fifth starters are. So, yeah, they're going to be really good. And for me, playoffs are weird, but you're going to win a playoff series or you're going to get out of that wild card round that you were in last year. And that to me is a step in the right direction. And then everything else is a toss-up. But we'll cross the playoff bridge when we come to it. They are a playoff team for sure. They will 100% be more competitive for the NL East than they were last year, even though I'm not staking the season on whether or not they win it. Mm-hmm. And they're about a 95-win team to me right now.
Give me the opening day, bro.
How does that sound, boys?
That's music to my ears.
Talk to you in 300 days when they're back in the postseason. Listen, man, Connor, appreciate you for coming on again. You guys check him out on Twitter at ConnorThomas975. We know we can hear you on 97.5 The Fanatic. We know we can see you on NBC Sports Phillies from time to time. Where else can we catch your work?
Man, Locked On Phillies on YouTube. You can go ahead and check that out. Subscribe. I'm pushing about 600 subscribers. Got to get to 1,000 to start making some money on it. So it costs you nothing to subscribe. Press that button for me.
Preach, brother.
We got a lot of every day we're doing stuff Monday through Friday. So you're going to have plenty of Phillies content. And I'm starting this new thing, Philly in 50, which is just short videos, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Twitter, where it's just the daily Philadelphia sports news and just a short little package. So that's Philly in 50, and you can find that on all platforms. So I'm a busy guy these days.
There you have it. Connor Thomas, TikTok content creator.
Absolutely. I'm going to start doing the dances and everything. Yes, no, I will not. You can absolutely
people might pay to see that one. They might pay to
No, they will not. They'll pay to not see it. So that's why I'm not going to do it.
Is whiskey season over, or are we still in whiskey season?
Whiskey season's not over. Until it clears like 65 degrees again, it's still whiskey season.
Okay, so this is a seasonal thing we're talking about. Okay.
We're cooking. You. Yep.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon, hopefully about some positive Eagle stuff in the future. And have a great night.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Connor Thomas, 97.5 The Fanatic. George, you said a lot of stuff there, and it's all – see, isn't this a beautiful thing? You know it's a home run signing when there's no pushback in any area. There's no injury concern. There's no age concern at the moment. Yeah, you're going to have your 2%ers talk about the 11 years when he's 40, but for the most part, this conversation entirely positive. I don't care about 2034, 2035 right now. 300 hitter, 100 RBIs last season. He's going to hit 18 to 25 bombs out of Citizen Bank Park.
Yep. He is everything that people are saying about him. Everyone being over the moon excited, everybody expectations through the roof. It's meant to be that way because he's that freaking good. Yeah. Like he is arguably the best shortstop in baseball, and I think the only one you can argue is Correa, and you could easily argue Turner. And I can't believe it, man. I can't believe that this is our team.
And I think there's a part of the Correa conversation that has to do with age. Because Correa is what, 25? Oh, Correa is older than that. Okay, I thought he was younger.
Or 27 maybe, but he's not that much younger. But he is younger. He is the youngest.
Yeah, the couple years difference, people bring that into the conversation because he is as talented possibly. But we talked, it makes so much sense about the family stuff, the relationships, the East Coast guy, the winning, the culture, all that. By the way, that's another thing that Dombrowski continues to do. What did Kyle Schwarber bring to the table last year, George?
46 homers?
Well, no, not just but leadership, winning.
Yes.
World Series.
Yeah.
Trea Turner,
that's
World Series champion. Just played for the Los Angeles Dodgers, winning 100+ games, winning their pennant, right? So, like, he's got all that. He can be a leader in the clubhouse as well. But it's such a perfect fit in terms of what he's going to be able to do on the diamond for the Phillies. He's not a Gold Glover.
No.
But he's damn good in the field. There is no issue there. Bryson Stott he was good at short last year.
But you know what he's really good at?
Second base.
The
arm fits better at second base in that gap, right? So it makes you better up the middle than what you dealt with last year, obviously. Love Gene had some flashes in the NLCS, also had some mistakes in the NLCS. So did Bryson Stott. You clean that area up, and then you just talk about the bat. Listen, we can argue for 4 months right now. Lead off, 2-hole. Lead off, 2-hole. We're not going to know the answer until you get into spring training and into the regular season, right? However, what he's going to do in terms of he's going to hit, I guarantee you he hits for at least 302 this year. He had 298 last year. Before that, he had 3 straight years of over 300, and he had 298 in 2019, the World Series year. He's going to hit over 300. He's going to steal 30 to 40 bags. He is going to drive in. What would you say RBI-wise? He had 100 last year.
This lineup is just as good as LA's.
88 plus, probably.
Yeah, I'd say 80 is the minimum.
Yeah.
The minimum is probably
home runs, 18 min, probably.
I think home runs is about 18 minimum, you could say, because like he's like a 20 to 25 guy typically. So I'll give him, I could 100% see 18 to 25. I think it's a good range. It's just
not to mention with all of this, he is one of the most, if not the most pure and consistent hitters in the major leagues. Now, what do I mean by that? His ability to just, I know as crazy as it sounds with swing trajectories and launch angles and all that stuff now, George.
Yep.
His ability to just hit the ball where it's pitched, to dissect a pitcher mid at bat and adjust and take a backdoor slider the opposite way, to get your hands around on a fastball up and in and take it over to left field wall. He can do all of that. And his splits, lefty, righty, road, home, runners on, bases empty, they are all literally 5 points off of the top and the best and lowest one. They're so consistent. And what does that do? We talk about this lineup from top to bottom, the talent, the power, all of that. He is going to make each and every player in this lineup better and more dangerous because of what he provides. So now Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, they have another all-star bat
with 99 speed
in front of them or behind them.
Yep.
To make them see better pitches as well.
Mm-hmm. Make their lives easier.
I mean,
it's the most clear signing anyone has ever made. It makes everybody in the lineup better, as you said. Having him there, a consistent hitter, someone that's going to get on base no matter what, someone that's going to use his speed on base. Like imagine having Trea Turner at first base and you're up to bat. You know, it's just things are gonna work out so well with Trea Turner in this lineup. You wonder why LA was such a powerhouse. Like having Trea Turner up there in that 2-hole, in that 1-hole, it's like it makes a difference. The guy is absolutely incredible, and we personally have been seeing it for the last freaking decade. I mean, like watching him in Washington kick our ass all the time. It was like we know who Trea Turner is. Obviously,
he has blossomed into such a difference maker. Because when he was in Washington, I know he was really good that World Series year. He had 298. Yes. But I remember like a year or two prior to that, right? Like the year we first got Bryce, and we would watch Washington and play against them, and he was nice. He was a solid player. There was never superstar in my mind. He has blossomed. He's turned himself into a legitimate superstar. You mentioned it. Probably, arguably, the best, if not top 2 at his position.
Yes.
That's a huge difference maker. At a position that's been a problem for this Phillies team for a very long time.
Very long.
I can't wait. It's going to make Alex Bowen better at third base. It's going to make Rhys Hoskins' life easier at first base with him in the field.
It's just crazy because there's so many scenarios with this guy, especially at the top of the lineup. If you have guys on, like even a sack bunt situation, that guy is so fast, dude. Like I
promise you, Philly fan, like he's stealing third base this year with nobody on.
Like, oh yeah. Like watching him play baseball, like I was telling my mom because she texted me. She's like, Trea Turner, like, oh my God. And I was like, listen, like he's just really fun to watch. Like you're gonna have a great time watching this guy. He is so fun to watch play baseball.
For sure, dude.
And
once Bryce is back specifically with this lineup, you have to take into account if you're not a baseball fan, if you think it's too long, too boring, not enough offense, watch this Phillies team this year. Because if you didn't get captivated by that World Series run enough at the end of this past year, there is no more shift. Do you know what that means? When Bryce Harper ropes one into right field or right center field, there's no third baseman standing in right field to snag the line drive out of the air. There's none of that. Trea Turner, when he wrote, like, not that I don't know how they if they play Trea straight up because he's such a good hitter, what do they do? But you can't do that. Schwarber, no shift. So if you're not a baseball person, watch this team play this year.
Yeah, this year's gonna be much different too without the shift. I mean, we know, obviously we watch it every day, but I feel like people that don't really watch baseball and they watch it in the playoffs, like, you're gonna see a lot of offense this year, Dill.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, not about Trea, but about the pitching, the pitching point of view for going forward. So he brings up an interesting point, and I like the goals, Rodon. I think the money's possible, but it limits what you can do in the pen. But I do agree it's probably not Rodon. And I also liked Connor's point of the fact that you roll out this team this year, you go get a fourth starter or whatever. If you can't get back there, if you lose in the World Series again, then maybe next year you go all in, you bring in a top 2 starter, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But when you look at the free agent market outside of Rodon right now, there's a lot of those 3, 4, 5 guys, inning eater guys, right? What are your thoughts on a possible trade package scenario for Dave Dombrowski to go get a guy that they want?
I think it's very possible.
Is he in that mindset? I don't know.
I think it's very possible because, I mean, Dave Dombrowski, what have we been saying about him since the beginning? He's an all-in win-now guy, and obviously it's been a lot of signings. You traded for Brandon Marsh, like you got guys like that, but it's been a lot of big signings and getting guys on the money, and that typically you see kind of it work both ways, where you are going to trade prospects eventually, and you are going to have to trade someone of value and get maybe that top starter or somebody.
By the way, I'm sorry to cut you off for everybody out there. No, you are not trading Rhys Hoskins for a top tier pitching starter. It is not possible. Teams do not view him that light. He does not bring back that type of value with 1 year left on his deal. Sorry, keep going.
There you go. Thank you. That I needed to be said, first of all. It's great. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you're right. It is possible. Not obviously signing a guy like Rodon, like, we would love it, and that would push this team completely over the edge. But yeah, that's not a super logical thing, especially the way Connor explained it. I think trading for a starter is very much in the looks of Dave Dombrowski. I think he's kind of the guy. I think he's a smart dude. Obviously, he's a Hall of Fame GM. He's looking at all directions. There are definitely guys you could trade for, but there are definitely guys you can sign. Just like Connor said, like, the guy I was looking at is Jameson Taillon. Like, just a guy that's not going to.
What were his numbers last year? Because I know I've seen a couple links to him as well.
He wasn't terrible. I know Yankees fans like him.
He had a 3.91 last year. The 2 prior years, he had over a 4.1.
Yeah.
He's that 4 last year.
He's that 4 starter guy. He's
31 years old.
Not going to cost a lot of money. Just it's that guy. That's it's going to be your 4 starter. That's the guy that everyone's like thinking of pretty much. It's like who's going to be that 4 starter behind Ranger, So Jameson Taillon's definitely a guy, but dude, I could see Dave going out and trading for somebody, 100%. Why not Shane Bieber, huh? Come on, go out there and trade some prospects. Let's get an ace. If they get an ace,
did I miss something? When did Martin Perez go to the Red Sox?
At the deadline.
Why do I not remember that?
Martin Perez, the pitcher?
Yeah. From Houston?
Yeah.
Wow. I missed something tremendously.
I don't know what
I don't know. I was just looking at the free agent market on the pitching.
I don't know what the trade was, but yeah. I think that was a deadline deal.
I know that the White Sox are looking to shed money as well, and Liam Hendriks' name was thrown out there as a guy, potential trade market, 13, 14 mil on the book this year. Yeah. Don't know if they would go out and do that, but that arm at the back end of the bullpen would be nice as well. But does Lance Lynn become available at all if they're looking to shed money?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is another name if you're looking to shed money. I feel like the White Sox are kind of a dumpster fire right now. It just kind of seems like
maybe that's where Reese can go. No more Jose Abreu. They need a first baseman.
Stop.
Lance Lynn.
Stop. I'm sick of that. No Derek Hall talk.
You want to bring Drew Smiley back?
Not
I'm kidding.
opposed.
I'm kidding. Don't worry.
Not opposed. He did pretty well in Chicago. He wasn't bad.
I'm sorry. I'm getting captivated by this.
No, I see you're looking at the. Yeah, it seems like you're looking at the free agent list.
No, Martin Perez cannot be. No, he's with the Rangers still.
There's 2 Martin Perez's.
I'm talking about the Rangers.
Oh, okay.
But this on the tracker, it says Boston Red Sox.
Oh, you're talking about free. Okay. Or trade wise?
Yeah. No, I didn't mean for the Phillies to target him. I brought it up to you at the point that the Texas Rangers, the Texas Rangers went out and they already grabbed Jacob deGrom. They signed Andrew Heaney today, and they were big players in the pitching market. So I mentioned how Rodon's probably not a fit for them. The Mets, they lose deGrom, but they bring in Verlander. They're already paying Scherzer. They're probably, I would say, out on Rodon. So I'm looking around contending-wise. It's just interesting to see. I get it. Rodon's going to want his money. There is the relationship to Trea Turner. They went to college together. They got drafted together.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll read the tea leaves and find out.
I agree with you. Like, all I'm saying is I know that it's not a given like Trea Turner, but getting a guy like Rodon pushes this team over the edge like that.
What do you think Rodon would take?
He's gonna get he's gonna get paid.
But AAV, what's the AAV?
Is it as much as is it higher than Wheeler?
What's Wheels per year?
24.
It can't be higher than Wheeler. No. It shouldn't be higher than Wheeler because he's not your ace. You don't set that tone as well. B, no, if I'm looking where I need bullpen pieces as well, I can't spend 24 of the 34 available on a pitcher. But I was thinking if he took less and came here for 2021 ballpark, you go out, get 3 relievers at a couple mil per year each. That's where you make it work. But if he wants 25, 27, 28 per year, then it's definitely not happening. But anything else, man? Anything else you want to get off your chest before we wrap up?
No, man. I'm ecstatic. I know. It's December.
It's 6th, awesome, but it's also a problem because
I'm ready for spring training, Dill. Like,
I know.
I'm already ready for spring training.
Let's go to Florida. Let's go to Clearwater.
Oh, I'm trying to go again. We should. I went the year before COVID. It was incredible.
There you go.
It was Harper's first year.
All right, guys. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. Is he? Or is this just a beard? Is this just a thought by you, or did I miss something on social media while we have been live right now? But thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to check out our guest on Twitter at Connor Thomas 97.5. He is a part of 97.5 The Fanatic and Locked On Phillies. Don't forget to check all the great content here at DSM out at DSM_media on Twitter. If you want to be interactive throughout all of our great shows, especially the pregame lives that only stream exclusively on the YouTube channel, make sure you head on over to that YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, like this video, do whatever you got to do. That's the best possible place to get your comments pulled up on the screen each and every show. George,
I got one more thing, one more question before you wrap up. What number is Trea Turner picking? I think he's going with 7.
Oh,
he's going with 7?
Yeah.
That would look good.
Yeah.
Look good.
I like it. My birthday. Hey.
Oh, nice.
Gonna grab me a jersey. Not to mention Phil's. Let's make this official. Get the merch out. It's Christmas time. People want some jerseys, whatever you got. So roll out the merch, okay?
Come on.
Give it to me. Guys, check us out on Twitter, like I said, at DSM_media. Have a great rest of your night. Trea Turner is a Philadelphia Philly.